Today's episode is brought to you by the Vegas Beer Guys.
Everything sequel contains explicit language. And why the fudge not, you melon farmer?
Hello and welcome to the Everything Sequel podcast. This is the 1990 edition.
What?
My name is...
Say what? Is that 1990 or is that too late?
Yep. Hard to say. Is that in reference? It sounds like...
Because doing it spoiler alert, we're doing this on the fly because this is an entirely new format that we've come up with.
Yeah.
So I was like, if I'd have anticipated, I'd have gone to something specifically 1990. I think Say What is what, 1979 or something? So.
Yeah, you might have missed the mark by a decade or two, but that's all right.
We know one piece of music that was released in 1990, Billy Get Your Guns by John Bon Jovi.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. But
maybe the best thing about that movie.
I'm not singing that, but go...
How dare you? Don't disrespect that marvelous song.
It's like
all right, everyone.
I think of it as if Bruce Springsteen had a talent lobotomy. That's what he would sound like.
Oh, fucking shit. You are fucking throwing daggers. That's Tom Stewart of Lonesome Whistle Productions having a hit put out on him by John Bon Jovi.
He's pretty
My name is Michael...
Oh,
well, if you say so.
I don't know why I know that, but he is.
All right. My name is Michael Shantz of the How Dare You Awards. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our introductory episode to one-offs. We have some one-off sequels, and so this is the new format. We are deciding we were thinking about what do you do with single sequels, because you can't rank a sequel. You could talk about, is this sequel better than the original?
Yeah.
Is the original worthy of a sequel?
But that's not how we roll here on Everything Sequel.
Yeah, but we like to rank. We like to rank and declare good or bad. So what we're doing is, for any particular year, and we've chosen 1990, we are taking all the single sequels from 1990 and we will rank them and declare them good or bad. Now, Tom,
yes.
The funny part about this is, okay, first of all, listeners, here are the sequels that are single sequels from 1990.
And then we'll tell you how many of them we've seen.
Exactly right. Gremlins 2, The New Batch.
Seen.
Young Guns 2.
Seen.
Another 48 Hours.
Seen.
Which you know we've seen because we've already talked about it on this
seen
podcast.
And
then seen and heard. And then we have a little movie called Troll 2.
Not seen.
Not seen. So we had a long discussion because we literally came up with this idea this morning.
Yeah.
Tom, how do you want to handle your ranking? Are you putting Troll 2 to the side for now?
No, I'm going to incorporate it where I think it might be, and then once we
could do an update.
Well, when we cover Troll 2, we can give an update as to where it's actually quite an interesting experiment in expectation versus reality.
That's true.
Which having not seen Troll 2 is I'm assuming thematically relevant to the movie.
And I'm glad we're talking about this now, because how much of the movie-going audience, how much of going to the movies is expectation versus reality?
That's right, yeah. And it's a very provocative title. It comes with a lot of cultural assumptions. And I guess are we going to go with our own prejudices, or are we going to entertain some kind of optimism about how good/bad this movie might be?
Well, I'm going to just put my cards on the table.
Yes.
I'm going to put Troll 2 at the bottom of my list.
Okay.
I've looked at the poster. I've read what the movie's about. I think it will be the shittiest of the four.
Okay.
And you?
Well, let's rank then.
Okay.
Let's rank from the bottom. Bottom up.
All right.
Because you started with Troll.
So, bottom up, I'm going to go Troll 2.
Yes.
The next two are tough. I'm going to say Young Guns 2.
That is the correct answer.
Another 48 hours.
Ooh, that's harsh.
Gremlins 2 on the top.
Isn't there another movie in there?
No,
That's
just
it?
the four.
Just four? Okay.
So from top to bottom, Gremlins 2 the best, followed by another 48 hours. Then we have Young Guns 2, Troll 2, bottom of my list without having seen it. Sorry, Troll 2. Sorry, not sorry.
There are like
I shall be proven right.
Like so bad it's good movie podcasts now who they just felt a shiver down their spine. Are you saying that about Troll 2? Because it's if nothing if not a cult classic.
If you say so.
Yeah, absolutely. There are whole screening cultures around this this movie. It's kind of Ed Wood level of badness.
You're piquing my interest.
So I'm well, we've not got there yet, but I'm gonna go my ranking from the bottom up. Young Guns 2, Troll 2. I'm gonna assume that whatever the virtues of both, that I'm gonna enjoy Troll 2 more than I enjoy Young Guns 2.
All right.
Yeah, and then another four. There's a philosophy behind this. Okay, another 48 hours is next, and then Gremlins 2, the new batch.
On the top.
Yeah, because there's a philosophy behind that. I think.
So okay,
we're going Gremlins 2, another 48 hours. Troll 2. Young Guns 2, yeah.
We are of like minds for the top two movies.
Yeah.
We have our bottom movies inverted.
Yeah. Let's not pretend that these four movies aren't a big bag of problems. But
right.
If we're ranking, I think that's where we should go.
Oh, I can't wait to watch Troll 2 and see.
I think you may have been a little hasty putting it right on the bottom, but we'll see.
Well, so this is why
I mean, we have to watch these alone, not in a room full of people who are ironically appreciating it. That is a big.
That's
that
true.
Will make a huge difference.
That will make a difference. Okay, let me ask you this: each movie, good or bad?
Yeah. What do we start?
Where do you stand? Is Gremlins 2, the new batch, a good movie?
Yes, it is.
I agree.
Undeniable quality of what is on screen. However, the movie confuses me conceptually.
Oh, baffles me.
I find there is undeniable quality of what we're
I'm going to
actually
save
seeing.
Yeah, absolutely. But, and we already talked about another 48 hours. I can't remember. Did you declare it good or bad? I said it was a good movie.
It was a borderline good for me. You, as I remember, you tipped me over.
Nice.
And my main logic was the scene where a bike flies through a woman's boobs on a cinema screen. I thought no movie that has that shot can really be a bad movie.
That tipped it for you?
It titted it for me, yes.
Okay, now what I really want to talk about, we can't declare Troll 2 yet until we've seen it.
Oh no,
so,
we got to guess.
Well, I'm going to say bad.
I'm going to say good. I'm going to say so bad it's good.
Okay, and that's a possibility.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this, because where I'm most interested to talk about good or bad is Young Guns 2.
Okay.
So for starters, do you subscribe to the idea that there's a difference between a movie and a film?
Um, you should have given me some warning here, Mike.
I'm sorry,
you
but
basically hit me with the underpinnings of film going. Yeah. I think any great film should be a great movie, and vice versa. I don't know if I always felt that way, but no, I don't
but
think there
right
is a
now in this
difference.
moment I feel that way. Is that what you're saying?
No, no. I think maybe when I was younger, I thought that there were movies that you didn't enjoy, but you could appreciate on the level of filmmaking and art. But as I get older, partly because I have no time for that distinction anymore, um, is that
Right.
Citizen Kane is a good movie and a good film. The Godfather is a good movie and a good film.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a distinction anymore for me.
Well, let me ask you this. I couldn't get to sleep last night. I was thinking about this question, and as it relates to Young Guns 2 specifically, if I gave you two movies, one is Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, and the other is Young Guns 2, which are essentially in plot similar movies,
Oh, 100%.
they're pursuit movies,
Yeah.
but which you could distinctly say which one's a film and which one's a movie, couldn't you?
Um.
Or is that just a bullshit argument based on the
No.
fact that we know in our consciousness that Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid is considered a great film?
Well, we're only comparing them because they're both westerns, right?
Right.
So isn't it about which one of them like lives up to the standards of the western genre? I would say.
I think more in terms of which one stands up under scrutiny for its writing and directing and acting.
Mm-hmm. There's also the history question, which just fucks everything up,
Right.
as
Yeah.
we'll see, because young one of the few areas in which the Young Guns what do you call it when it's just two films, like a duo?
I
The Young
suppose, yeah,
Young
a
Guns
duo of
duo
films.
is that apparently it's shit hot on its history,
Right.
probably to the detriment of both films.
Right.
But yeah, these are really interesting questions.
Let
I
me put it
mean,
this way. I've all of this is based solely on me trying to decide if Young Guns 2 is a good movie.
right.
Because I watch Young Guns 2 and I have lots of problems with it, but I'm at the end of it, I don't think that was a huge waste of my fucking time.
Hmm.
So based on that criteria, I'd have to say it's a good movie. But I have a lot of problems with it. It could have been a far more interesting movie if I think the writer and the director were a bit more focused. There are things in the movie that are really interesting as ideas, but those ideas aren't developed.
Yeah, well, they would be developed 2 years later by Clint Eastwood in Unforgiven
Exactly right. Yeah.
to to absolute
To
perfection.
perfection. Yeah.
Um. Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's fine to say something is a good movie if you see a potential. I mean, it doesn't have to reach its potential to be a good movie.
Right.
I mean, you know,
There's just a part of me that
we've said Superman 2 is a good movie, but we've also identified that it's
yeah, there's plenty of shit in it that doesn't
yeah,
hold up to
yeah,
scrutiny.
Superman 3. We both thought
Yeah.
that was a good movie, and and
Well, that's the other
that
thing
that is more successful ideas of what the movie is than the movie being successful in all its ideas.
right, because I also thought about this for Gremlins 2, the new batch,
I
because
would say Gremlins 2 is an even better case study of what you're talking about.
right, because you have to have a certain background knowledge. I think, have to be a certain age to appreciate that movie. Could you imagine, say, a 15-year-old who hadn't seen the original Gremlins and who watches that movie completely out of context? You could
You would
understand
need,
why
like,
they think
you
it's
would-
the biggest piece of shit in the history of cinema.
You know, like you have sign language translators. You'd have to have like a 90s version of that on screen going, this is who Hulk Hogan is. This is who Leonard Maltin is.
Right, exactly. This is who they were at that time and why they were important.
This is who we thought Trump was.
Right, yeah.
We thought he was this sad and simple man
And we were right.
who just needed a good idea.
Yeah, and we were right, but but he turned out to wield a lot of power.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so at the end of the day, for you, Young Guns 2, good or bad?
Bad.
All right.
I'm sorry I didn't have this all night agony that you had in deciding.
That was easy for you.
I wish I did now, because maybe I've not given it enough thought.
Well, I'll be excited to talk to you about it because that movie, to me, has a split personality.
Yeah.
So hearkening back to Norman Bates, you know.
Yeah. No, I 100%. There is something. I spent. You know, my memory
worthwhile
of Young Guns, the original, not that matters for our purposes, is very, very vague.
Uh-huh.
So I spent, and going back to another 48 hours where I hadn't seen the original, but I kind of made up what the original was in my mind, and it's completely wrong.
Right, yeah.
Based on the sequel. I have a feeling that Young Guns 2 is similar, where I'm like, is this something we dealt with before and we're supposed to know now? Because I asked that question a lot as I was watching it. I was like, have we dealt with this before? Is this why they're not telling us these things that seem confusing now?
Right.
So I think whereas, you know, for all its nonsense, and there's a lot of that, Gremlins 2 treads a very nice line of, you don't need to know the first movie to get what you need out of this movie.
No, yeah, they cover you. They cover the bases with delightfully terrible exposition.
And they have no preciousness about the movie that they're following, which is something we haven't seen much of yet,
and
right?
The other thing about Gremlins 2, the new batch, is that if we didn't start with Superman, because Superman has every kind of sequel there is,
yes,
you would almost have to start with Gremlins 2, because if nothing else, Gremlins 2 is a meditation on sequels themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And when we get into the episode, we'll see that like popular culture has used this movie to talk about the problem of sequels.
Right, yeah. All right. So Tom is ranking, again, listeners, neither of us have seen Troll 2, and without that knowledge, Tom is ranking these single sequels in order: Gremlins 2 on the top, the new batch, followed by Another 48 Hours, which you can find in our Another Sequel section of the
We've got a lot of cataloging
Everything Sequel podcast, yeah. And he is supposing that Troll 2 will be the next best, and Young Guns 2 the worst. I myself, same on the top, Gremlins 2 the new batch, followed by Another 48 Hours. I have Young Guns 2 third, and I am discounting Troll 2 to impress me.
At your peril, sir.
At my peril, completely. I am saying good, bad on mine. Tom is saying good, bad. But his is reversed. Young Gun's too bad, Troll too good. I'm saying Young Gun's too good, but I mean with heavy reservations.
These are like notes for an imaginary examination on movie
That will
sequels.
never occur.
Troll too bad, Joey good. Oh, is it so bad it's good? I can't remember. I gotta check my notes.
I better look back at that. Shit. All right. Tell us what you think. Weigh in on the one-offs. Find us on everythingsequel at Gmail and let us know what you think. Find us on Facebook or Instagram. All right. We're stay tuned. In the coming days, we're going to drop these single episodes. Except for another 48 hours. You could go back in time for that one.
Well, maybe we'll do it again.
Maybe we'll redo it. There you go. All right.
No chance. That's not happening.
Take care, everybody. I'm excited for this. This is going to
Although
be great.
we could call it another 48 hours.
We could.
I think you're going to have to pay money for that, though.
Who, me?
No, not you.
Or
not
our
you,
audience.
I mean, as a listener.
Oh, good.
I would want that behind a paywall.
I agree. You guys are willing to shell out the money, aren't you? All right.
To hear a second podcast on another 48 hours.
To listen to it again? But from the vantage point of with these singles.
Ranked against 3 other 1990s sequels, just to sweeten the deal.
All right. I'm about to run out of computer juice, so I'm all done. Say goodbye, Tom.
Yes.
Well done. Bye, everyone.
I like to think I know something about beer, but nowadays even I get overwhelmed when confronted by the exhaustive selection of craft beers they have at bars, breweries, and even grocery stores. Back in the day you had 1, maybe 2 craft beers to choose from, and if you were confused, you ordered a Guinness. But in beerstinations like San Diego, the craft beer options lately are in double, sometimes even triple digits. So what's a beer drinker to do? You need what I need, the Vegas Beer Guys. Your beer of choice should be a perfect blend of malt and hops. And so a live show about beer needs that same balance. And the Vegas Beer Guys matches beer expert Dan Aker with self-proclaimed beer novice Stephen J. Weiss. The results are eminently drinkable. They're on Facebook, they're on Instagram. They'll try new beers, they'll tell you about beer. Think of them as your beer Sherpas guiding you up a foamy-headed mountain to reach the peak of your pint. God, I need a beer.